Get your hands out of the window, now! My hands are visible, officer. Hands are visible, officer. I am not reaching, I am communicating. Get out of the car! Open the door!
Major Elias Thorne, Retimar, a 58-year-old resident of the upscale Silver Creek enclave in Georgia, is currently driving a pristine 1969 Chevrolet Camaro. Thorne is not merely a retired soldier, he is a recipient of the Medal of Honor, the highest military decoration awarded by the United States government, presented to him personally by the President for actions undertaken in the Mogadishu conflict. He currently works as a tactical consultant for the Department of Defense, earning an annual income exceeding $450,000. On this evening, he is returning from a charity gala benefiting disabled veterans. He is sober, he is armed legally under the Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act, LEOSA, and he is 3 minutes from his driveway. Officer Derek Miller is a 32-year-old patrolman with the Silver Creek Police Department. He has been on the force for 7 years. His personnel file reveals a salary of $62,000 and a pattern of behavior characterized by proactive policing in low-crime neighborhoods. In the last 24 months, Miller has been the subject of 4 internal complaints regarding discourtesy and 2 involving use of force. Both force complaints were ruled unfounded due to lack of camera angles, but the demographic data of his traffic stops shows a 78% skew toward African American drivers in a township that is only 12% black. He considers himself a guardian of the community, patrolling the borders of affluence to keep the criminal element out. Here is the first point of contention for the audience. In the initial 30 seconds, Officer Miller escalated to lethal force based on a driver declaring a legal firearm. Do you believe an officer is justified in drawing a weapon solely because a citizen declares they are armed? Or does this indicate a lack of training and emotional control? Pause the video and leave your verdict in the comments below. The setting is Silver Creek, a rapidly gentrifying suburb 20 miles north of Atlanta. Historically a sundown town in the 1950s, it has transformed into a haven for new money. Tech entrepreneurs, professional athletes, and high-ranking military retirees. The streets are lined with 100-year-old oaks and manicured lawns that smell of freshly cut fescue and jasmine. The ambient audio of the body camera captures the hum of crickets and the distant drone of highway traffic on Interstate 85. It is a humid Tuesday evening, 78 degrees with high moisture in the air. The streetlights are sparse, designed to maintain a rural aesthetic, which creates pockets of deep shadow between the pools of sodium vapor orange light. This is a neighborhood where a loud exhaust or an unfamiliar car is immediately flagged on the Nextdoor app by vigilant neighbors. Psychologically, the 2 men operating in this space are living in different realities. Elias Thorne feels entirely secure. He has spent 30 years in the deepest conflict zones on Earth. A traffic stop in suburbia registers as a 0 on his threat scale. He believes in the hierarchy of law and order. He assumes that his status as a decorated hero and a law-abiding citizen provides him a shield of invulnerability. He operates under the assumption that if he follows the rules, the system will protect him. Officer Miller, conversely, is in a state of hyper-arousal. To him, the presence of a black male in a classic muscle car, often associated in his bias confirmation loop with drug dealing or gang activity, signals a breach of the perimeter. He has likely run the tags but missed the specific veteran designation, or perhaps the system was slow to return the data. When Thorne announces the gun, Miller's amygdala hijacks his executive function. He does not hear legal permit, he hears gun. He is not reacting to the man in front of him, but to a composite monster created by years of patrol room rumors and warrior cop training seminars that teach officers that every traffic stop is a potential ambush. The escalation begins at timestamp 1942:15. Step out of the vehicle. Do it now! Miller kicks the driver's side door. The metallic thud resonates on the audio. This is a tactic designed to disorient the occupant, known as a sensory overload entry. I am unbuckling my seatbelt. My hands are moving slowly to the release. Thorne narrates his own actions. This is a technique taught to special forces to prevent friendly fire incidents. His voice remains flat, lacking the tremble of adrenaline that usually accompanies a civilian at gunpoint. Don't tell me what you're doing! Just get out! Miller grabs the door handle and rips it open, The interior light floods the cabin, illuminating Thorne's tuxedo jacket and the slight shimmer of a lapel pin. Miller does not see the pin. He sees the shadow of the waistband. "Get out! Get out!" Miller reaches into the car. At 19:42:35, physical contact is made. Miller grabs Thorne by the lapel of his tuxedo and attempts to perform a gladiator extraction, pulling the large man laterally out of the low bucket seat. "Officer, you are making a mistake. You need to check the registration." Thorne does not resist, but he does not assist. He becomes dead weight, forcing Miller to struggle against gravity. Thorne's eyes are locked on Miller's name tag. He is memorizing it. "Stop resisting! Stop fighting me!" "I am not fighting. You are struggling with physics. Let go of my jacket." Miller releases the jacket and transitions to a wrist lock. He yanks Thorne's left arm, twisting it behind the veteran's back while he is still half-seated. This creates immense torque on the rotator cuff. Quote 15. Thorne's warning is delivered with the tone of a doctor giving a diagnosis. It is devoid of threat, yet terrifyingly certain. Quote 16. Miller finally dislodges Thorne from the vehicle. Thorne stumbles slightly, but catches his balance. He is 6'2", visibly fit, with the posture of a man who has stood at attention for decades. He does not drop to his knees. Quote 17. Quote 18. At 19:43:10, Miller draws his Taser X2 with his left hand, while keeping his firearm trained with his right, a violation of department policy known as Quote 19, which increases the risk of sympathetic fire. Quote 20. Thorne stands motionless. His hands are raised to shoulder height, palms open. The camera clearly shows he is empty-handed. The distance is 7 feet. Quote 21. Miller's breathing is ragged, audible as gasping intakes of air on the microphone. This is a physiological response to unmanaged stress. His heart rate is likely exceeding 160 beats per minute, causing auditory exclusion and tunnel vision. He cannot process Thorne's words, only his refusal to submit. Quote 22. Quote 23. At 19:43:22, Miller deploys the taser. The probes hit Thorne in the chest and abdomen. The circuit completes. Thorne's body locks up, the neuromuscular incapacitation taking hold. He falls stiffly backward, hitting the asphalt with a sickening crack as his head strikes the pavement. Quote 24. Miller rushes forward as the taser cycles. He drops his knee onto the neck of the paralyzed veteran. Quote 25. Thorne is physically incapable of moving his hands. The electricity is still cycling. Miller interprets this physiological lockup as resistance. He delivers 2 closed-fist strikes to Thorne's ribs. Thorne's voice is a strained wheeze. The fall has likely concussed him. Quote 28. Miller finally wrenches Thorne's arms back and ratchets the handcuffs tight. He leans his full weight on Thorne's back, pressing the veteran's face into the grit of the road. Here lies the second critical dilemma. The officer issued contradictory commands, demanding movement while threatening lethal force for movement, and then deployed a taser on a standing, non-aggressive subject who cited a physical inability to kneel. If a suspect claims a physical disability prevents them from kneeling, is the officer required to use an alternative restraint method, or does safety override the disability? Tell us where you draw the line in the comments. Stay down. Don't you move. Miller stands up, panting heavily. He walks back to the Camaro to secure the weapon. He begins rummaging through the center console, ignoring the glove box where the registration is kept. He finds the firearm, a customized Sig Sauer P226 engraved. Got it. Gun secured. Dispatch, 1 in custody. Weapon recovered. He shines his light into the back seat. He sees a folded American flag in a triangular case. He sees a dress uniform jacket hanging on the hook. And then, at 19:45:05, his flashlight beam sweeps across the license plate he failed to properly check earlier. The plate does not have the standard Georgia Peach logo. It is blue, with white stars. It reads, Medal of Honor. Dispatch, copy that. Miller's voice drops. The adrenaline crash begins. He walks back to the front of the car. He shines the light on the wallet lying on the passenger seat, which had fallen out during the extraction. He flips it open. The badge inside is not a police badge. It is a Department of Defense identification card with the clearance level stamped in red. Top Secret/SCI. Next to it is a laminated card identifying the bearer as a Medal of Honor recipient, granting him courtesies on all federal and military installations. Oh, shit. The realization hits Miller like a physical blow. The camera captures his hand shaking as he holds the ID. He looks back at the man face down on the pavement. The man he just tased. The man he just struck. Hey. Sir? Miller's tone shifts instantly from predator to tentative child. He walks back to Thorne, who is groaning, blood trickling from a laceration above his eye. Sir, can you hear me? I hear you, and soon the entire chain of command is going to hear you. Thorne's voice is weak but steady. He does not shout. He spits blood onto the asphalt. I didn't know. You didn't tell me. I tried. You didn't listen. Look, let's get you up, okay? Just hang on. Miller attempts to grab Thorne's arm to lift him. Do not touch me. Do not lay another hand on me. Call your supervisor. Now. Sir, I just need to check your... You have checked enough. You have assaulted a federal agent and a Medal of Honor recipient. You have violated my civil rights under color of law. You are currently committing a felony by keeping me in these restraints without probable cause. Call your lieutenant. Miller steps back. His breathing is no longer aggressive. It is the shallow hyperventilation of panic. He keys his radio. Dispatch. Send a supervisor to my location. 1018. Urgent. What's the nature of the emergency, 2 Baker? Just send them. Miller mutes his body camera audio at 1946:12. This is a violation of department policy. For the next 7 minutes we see only the video, Miller pacing back and forth, putting his hands on his head, looking at the Medal of Honor license plate, and looking back at Thorne, who remains lying on the ground, refusing to allow Miller to help him up, preserving the crime scene of his own assault. The legal aftermath was not instantaneous, but it was absolute. When the field supervisor arrived, Thorne refused to speak to him, demanding the presence of the FBI. Because of his status and the federal nature of his work, the local FBI field office was notified. By the next morning, the Silver Creek Police Department was swarming with federal agents. The internal investigation revealed that Miller's report claimed Thorne lunged for the waistband and adopted a fighting stance. The body camera footage, which Miller could not delete, proved these statements to be perjury. Thorne was standing with his hands up. The lunge was him falling after being tased. Thorne did not settle quickly. He filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city, the police department, and Officer Miller individually. His legal team argued that the department's failure to discipline Miller for previous complaints amounted to a pattern and practice of condoning rights violations. The discovery phase was brutal. It exposed emails between the chief of police and the mayor, joking about targeting expensive cars with the wrong drivers to boost asset forfeiture numbers. This evidence turned a simple excessive force case into a massive institutional corruption scandal. After 18 months of litigation, the city settled for $20 million, one of the largest single-victim settlements in state history. The settlement included a rare clause. The department was forced to admit liability publicly, preventing them from using the standard no admission of wrongdoing language. Officer Miller was fired and charged with aggravated assault, violation of oath of office, and filing a false police report. He accepted a plea deal to avoid federal civil rights charges, 5 years in state prison, followed by 10 years of probation. He is permanently decertified, meaning he can never work in law enforcement or private security again. However, the $20 million settlement was paid primarily by the city's insurance policy and the taxpayers of Silver Creek. The police union fought to ensure Miller's legal fees were covered up until his conviction. This brings us to our final question. When a city pays millions for police misconduct, the taxpayers foot the bill, not the police department's budget. Should settlements be paid from the police pension fund to incentivize better behavior? Let us know your thoughts below. Today, Elias Thorne has fully recovered from his injuries, though he walks with a slight limp due to the aggravation of old combat wounds. He used a portion of the settlement to establish a legal defense fund for veterans who are victims of police misconduct. He drives the same Camaro, now fitted with 360-degree dash cameras. Derek Miller was released on parole after serving 3 years. He currently works in a warehouse for an online retailer. His request to have his record expunged was denied. The camera is a neutral observer. It does not care about medals, and it does not care about badges. It records only light and sound. In the case of Major Thorne, the camera served as the only witness that mattered against a narrative that would have otherwise labeled a national hero as a criminal. It revealed that authority without discipline is merely bullying, and that true power often lies in the quiet confidence of the man who knows the law better than the enforcer. When the badge meets the medal, the hierarchy of respect is tested. In Silver Creek, that test cost the taxpayers $20 million and cost one officer his freedom. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.